sir, in my peripherals, tell me your name.
I need no introduction. I'm Matt.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, we are back after our 1 week hiatus. I don't know what happened. We kind of just pooped.
I know what happens. It's called daylight savings time, that fucking system. And while the rest of you are good with it, here in Arizona, we don't do anything with it. So a few weeks ago, I was 1 hour away from California. Now I'm in the same time zone as California. So
wait, what?
It was because we don't change with daylight
so
savings.
Weird.
Everyone else does. Yeah, it is a little weird.
What? Okay.
So instead of you and me being 2 hours apart, we're now 3 hours apart. But I didn't remember daylight savings because so when you were ready to start, I was nowhere to be found. And then an hour later, I'm like, hey, we're going to start the show. And you're like, I was trying to start the show, but you weren't responding. And I'm like, oh, shit, daylight savings again.
Sorry, Andrew's standing in front of me naked telling me that he's worried about losing weight.
As long as it's not in the penis.
No, he looks lovely.
Keep your penis big.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh. But yeah, so we are back and we are ready to talk about men and macho-ness and masculinity, the most delicious part of the man.
Well, apparently, Loki Tops is a big fan of me. He's like, hello, my love. I'm such a big fan of you. Well, Tops, I appreciate that. I think we should say more to men that we love them. I love you back, Loki Tops.
Oh, yes. We all love each other. Oh my gosh, that's great. So yeah. We're just.
And I've got my Glossier here. Yeah.
Man, I need something to drink. I just finished my beer before this, and I have no more. Well, actually, no. I do have liquor and I have wine, but I don't really like.
Well, this is actually wine. This is actually wine, but it's Moscato. But I'm sure someone out there's going to be like, he just emulated a black man. That's racist. Blackface. Blah blah blah. Because I'm making fun of Tim Meadows' character from Saturday Night Live, Ladies Man.
See, I haven't seen much of Saturday Night Live besides like a couple.
Back in the day, it was funny, but like in the 90s.
Yeah, I saw this one skit recently that was like not good. It was just probably because it was mostly women. No offense. Oh, but yeah, it wasn't that entertaining. I see this is called the Macho Show. Glad you have the artistic dragon on here. Are you sure you don't mean the autistic dragon? Just he's the manliest of men. But yeah, so I guess the theme of today is masculinity. We're going to be talking about multiple things. Have on at least one guest, I believe. So yeah.
One confirmed guest, but we are leaving the invitation open for anyone else who wants to join us after that. So, but we're going to have Jim come on, and I'll let him do his own introductions. But so let's talk about toxic masculinity, and of course, the way it's written in our show today, mass, M-A-S. We are referring to the mass shootings. Now, surprisingly...
Damn, I didn't even fucking think of that. Oh my god. I swear, I literally did not even plan that.
That's why I said it was such a good title. I thought it's like
massively. Like a massive. Okay, no, that's even better. Let's just pretend that was intentional. Okay.
You are a retard.
Thank you. I am retardedly smart.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's pretend that's what I said. Anyways, we're not going to be talking specifically about the New Zealand shooting, although that's what inspired today's show, because I actually wanted to initially talk about body image issues, because I guess BuzzFeed or HuffPo released a thing about, skinny privilege versus fat people. And I wanted to get into a discussion about the body image issues that men have. But then all of this happened. And I've been a little bit surprised this time around that toxic masculinity hasn't entered the conversation, or at least not as big. Probably because the mass shooter said something similar to something Trump said, and now everyone wants to blame Trump for this problem, even though Trump hasn't really indicated that he's anti-Muslim, at least not publicly. Sure, he created some policies that are seen that way. And this really isn't a topic. I don't really want to get into the Muslim conversation, but when we talk about toxic masculinity, the only example I can think of is Muslim culture, which is somehow protected in the left, even though the left is very much against this concept that there's certain male behaviors that is toxic to the social order, and yet the one place where we see the worst atrocities of humankind, it's given a pass. But spreading our legs in public, somehow that is offensive. That's offensive to women, even though when we tell them that they should close their legs, that's also offensive. It's like you can't have it both ways, but that's more of a joke. The thing is that the biggest attack that we have as men is that if we do not bow down to feminist ass and stick our tongue deep in their assholes.
Oh, okay.
We're toxic because we're not kowtowing to women, which, funny enough, if you look at all male behavior, that's all we do is cow down to whatever women want. And yet it's not enough. And for men to show anything outside of women is bad. Men hanging out with each other, well, there's not a woman there, so it's toxic masculinity. Men making fun of each other, toxic masculinity. Men going into sports, toxic masculinity. Everything is toxic that is not first approved of by women. I keep making this reference, and I wish I could remember that football player's name. But Adam Ruins Everything. He did a whole show, not a whole show, he did a segment of the show on toxic masculinity, which he didn't really explore anything, but then had a former NFL player on there, and he's like, yeah, I learned a lot about being a man by talking to women. And it's like, so in order for us to be men, we have to get approval by women. And so it's just so mind-numbing that anyone takes this shit seriously, and yet we see it everywhere. And you might say, well, that's one segment of the population. The most of us know it's full of crap, and we don't really listen to it. The problem is it's starting to affect laws. I mean, New York passed a law that says that you cannot, as a man, you cannot spread your legs on a public transport, such as their subway. Like, it is now a law that you can't do that, and people have been arrested for that. But we can even go back further than that. When the Violence Against Women Act was passed. Now, yeah, we don't want violence to happen to women, but it excludes men. But more importantly, it says that men are the only perpetrators of domestic violence, and it ignores women. We also have the Duluth model that most police agencies follow, that a woman is never the aggressor, or if she is, it's because the man provoked her. The man is ultimately responsible, even if he's the victim. But, let's lay out some truths here. Let's not lie to ourselves. Let's not say that men are completely innocent. Majority of crimes are committed by men. This is an absolute fact. We know this to be true. Yes, there are bad women out there. There are toxic femininity out there. If we're going to have toxic masculinity, we have to have toxic femininity. But there are bad women out there. But the majority of the crimes committed by men. But here's the flip side to that. The majority of the police that try to arrest people and try to stop crime are men. So this whole toxic masculinity, well, all the men commit the crime. Well, then all the men try to stop the crime. And there are toxic people out there, and I'm not going to deny that right now. But I will say that it's not a gendered issue. We see some bad women out there. We see some bad men out there. And to say that masculinity needs to be singled out and say that it's across the board bad is sexist, in my opinion. It's misogynistic, in my opinion. Women can just be as vile, if not more so. And in fact, any woman who uses the term toxic masculinity is herself a toxic person. And what I fear with our society, what many of us fear with our society, is that it's now starting to affect our children. And when we have the Good Men's Project that goes into schools and tries to teach boys not to rape, well, here's a news flash for everyone. In every year, we see less than 90,000 rapes that occur. Now, feminists, of course, say, oh, well, not everyone reports a rape. At least 90% are not reported. Okay, well, let's make this even. We'll say 100,000 and then say, let's double that number, 200,000. 200,000 rapes every year. How many men are in the United States? Well, there are about 350 million people in the United States. Half of that is men. So let's keep our numbers simple. Let's say 200 million men. 200 million men versus 200,000 rapes. And if all of those were committed by men, that's not even 1%. So we don't need to go into schools and tell little boys that they are rapists. We don't need to teach people not to rape because guess what? We already know it. But because the majority of rapes are committed by men because the FBI and the CDC changed the results to make it look that way, we have to tell little boys that they're bad, that being a man is bad, and you should feel ashamed for it. And more than that, you should feel ashamed for your fathers and their fathers and their fathers. And that the best thing you can do is sit down, shut up, and let a woman control your life. And this is the future, right? The future is now. This is what's going on now. So, yes, this idea of the show started with the mass shooting. And, you know, President Trump's being blamed. President Trump is seen as the ultimate in toxic masculinity. Hey, I hate Trump. I voted for the guy and I hate him. I wish there was someone better in office. But you know what? The thing I love most is he's pissing people off. Pissing people off in their sick little games of, oh, well, he says he still hates McCain even though he's dead. Or, oh, he said grab him by the pussy. Even if he back just a few seconds, he says they let you grab them by the pussy. But they cut that part out just so he could be a toxic masculinity shitlord. And it's sad to say, but Trump is a representation of the men's movement. I mean, he's not really, but all the shit he has to deal with is the shit that we all deal with because we're proud to be men. I know I let my rant go on for a little bit, guys, so I'm going to bring our guest on, but there's just a lot that I have for this issue. I mean, I could go on for hours just talking about how we really need to address this topic. We really need to get rid of this whole toxic masculinity campaign and just say people in general are toxic.
Yeah. Literally anybody could fucking murder you or rape you or try to do or steal from you or do something weird, you know? Like, I've had way more women do really fucked up shit to me. Not sexual assault, but like just, well, actually, no, the first two people I was sexually assaulted by were women, but that's besides the point. Every like weird, crazy, manipulative thing that's been done to me by a person was female, and like, I don't know, it's very, very stupid that like women can be proud to be women, but men can't be proud to be men. I liked what Mr. Misanthropic said, which was something like 80% of children are raised with little to no male influence or father figure. Masculinity isn't the problem, the lack of masculinity is, which is very true. Like back when masculinity, but back when masculinity was encouraged and, you know, being protective and brave and, you know, just all those masculine traits was making society honestly progress and, you know, work very well. There were, you know, lots of complete families, and now it's just kind of breaking apart.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm quite good.
Not Jim. Where'd Mad Cat go? He just left. Oh, all right. Well, I guess while we wait for him to come back, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Jim Calvar, and I used to do Tales from the Infrared with Dean Esme, Christian Chiasson, and several others.
Nice. Where'd you go, Mad Cat?
Hey, Jim. So good to see you. I don't think.
Oh gosh, we can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me?
Yeah.
Apparently, you can hear me quite well.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Mad Cat, though, your volume went down like super low for some reason.
All right, let me get out and I'll come back in.
Fine. Get it. Oh. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, it's fine. I understand. I did this for Tales from the Infrared for 2 years. It's a pain. Google Hangouts sucks.
Yeah, it does.
How's that?
Still just as bad. Try getting closer to the mic. Or as I used to tell Rachel, eat your mic.
Yeah, deep throat that shit. I'm trying to see if I can adjust your levels at all, but I don't think I can. Well, poop.
Going to...
Wait, I think... Maybe? Yeah, I think I can hear you now.
Okay, how's that?
That's better.
Okay. I think it was just a driver's issue.
Okay, cool, man.
All right. So, Jim. I've known Jim for a number of years, but I don't think we've been on a show together.
Not yet. Apparently, this is a first. Thank you.
So, has he already said a bit about himself? Because I sort of missed
just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit, because we kind of got cut off. But yeah, please do go on.
Well, like I said, Tales from the Infrared for 2 years. Since pretty much disbanding that because everybody decided to go their separate ways, I occasionally post a video on YouTube, and I just spend time pissing off the idiots on Twitter.
Right.
It's good therapy.
Yeah, I don't know. I do some pissing off. I think it's rare. Like for me, it's like once in a while, maybe like every couple weeks, I'll get like a really juicy like idiot, and I'll just be like,
you don't spend enough time dealing with the political shit. Then.
Well, yeah. Well, see, I don't really get into politics. Mine is more about like the gender politics, like the actual politics. I don't really know shit about that. Like today, someone told me that one of the guys that's running for president in 2020 is apparently like against circumcision, and I was like, oh,
Andrew Yang.
I didn't know that. Cool. Like I had no idea. I have no idea who's running for president right now because I'm still like, that was 3 years ago. How is that already 3 years ago? Oh.
Okay, I'm going to leave the blonde jokes alone.
No, yeah, I'm not a natural blonde, so
I already knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, is there something going on between the two of you?
Oh yeah.
I don't say a thing.
Oh my god, someone in the chat said don't touch Yang's wang. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen what he looks like. I might want to touch his wang.
Well, he's Asian, so that means it's small. You might not be able to find
it. Shit. Okay, small to me is like that. Okay, anything bigger than that is perfectly fine with me. Oh, sorry. I'm not one of those.
Mad Cat, you might have a chance.
What now?
I said Mad Cat might have a chance.
Yep.
Love you too, brother.
Hey, Medusa's seen mine. She's like, oh my god.
I have not.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. She's seen it.
Okay,
she's seen it, people.
Sure. Yeah, whatever.
There is a reason why I say I admit to nothing. Because then they can't get me on anything.
Oh, yeah, true. Exactly. See, yeah, I never admit to anything.
So
what now?
So our topic today is about toxic masculinity, and me and Jim were briefly talking that he's against it, so I wanted to hear his take on it.
I'm not against it. I just think it's a load of shit. First off,
yes, well, that's kind of what I was meaning, but yeah, go ahead.
First off, nobody can really define toxic masculinity in any type of way that you don't actually also discuss decent masculinity. Then there's the fact that, what's considered toxic. Well, let's even if we were to sit there and go with what's considered toxic, the aggression, the forcefulness, all that. If you got rid of that, we wouldn't have computers, we wouldn't have cell phones, we wouldn't have society. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I will be the first one to say we can always do better. And I know this will lead into the next topic of New Zealand, but sometimes you have to take the good with the bad. Sometimes you go a little overboard. And that's why we generally have each other to sit there and say, hey man, you're going a little too far. And where that line is drawn has just gotten blurrier and blurrier over the past few decades. But as far as what's toxic, well, the same type of behavior, the aggression, the risk-taking, is what creates police officers, good firemen, and for the pickup artist community, in some ways, it gets guys laid. So, I mean, if you want to talk toxic masculinity, I'm going to have to sit there and say, I'm not seeing anything toxic about that. Now, granted, again, you can take it too far. We see that. Mad Cat, I kick it back to you to talk about New Zealand.
Well, the one thing that I hate about New Zealand is not even necessarily the shooting itself. Don't get me wrong, I hate that plenty.
The koalas!
But it's all the grandstanding that people are doing with it. And you could say that we're doing the same thing, but we're trying not to. We're not trying to use this to talk about an issue, mostly because the issue hasn't really been brought up. But one person decides to carry out an action, and this has to be blamed on a group. You know, feminists hate it when we hold all feminists accountable for the actions of one. It's like, that was not even a real feminist, but they're so quick to do it against us. They're so quick to do it against all men, so quick to do it against all white people, so quick to do it against all white men. I mean, hell, Chelsea Clinton came under fire very recently for the New Zealand mosque shooting because she said that the Muslim congresswoman was anti-Semitic and that someone in Congress shouldn't be anti-Semitic. And she's coming under fire. It's like, well, it's your words that caused this mass shooting. It's like everyone is out for blood.
It's actually worse than that. Nothing she really said was all that bad. She even said, you know, I look forward to talking with Ilhan Omar as to how we can deal with these types of issues, including anti-Semitism. She wasn't that, and believe me, I despise the Clintons, from Bill to Hillary to Chelsea. I think they're all crooked. She's just a little less so than her parents. However, I don't want to be defending her. I don't want to defend her, but she didn't really do anything wrong. They went after her because she was there, she was high profile, and it would get their name in the news.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember that Hillary Clinton has dealings with the Muslim community, that they've donated a lot of money to Hillary Clinton, and you want to go after her daughter? Do you think that's smart?
Apparently it was. They got an op-ed in what was it, The Guardian, I think it was?
Oh yeah, I think they work for a Guardian. It's one of those stupid publications, but yeah,
sorry, I
mean,
keep yawning. My fucking back hurts, and it's making me like I don't know. I'm like out of breath, and I keep yawning. I'm sorry. I'm not bored. Oh shit! Smart.
Yeah, I don't want to defend Hillary Clinton here, but seriously, the best you can do is go after after Chelsea Clinton. You know, the woman who once made vaginas with her mother in an arts and craft sort of thing. I mean,
cringe.
That's the best target you can think of, because they happen to go to a memorial, and that's a bad form right there. Going to a memorial to attack someone. And you know, I was just watching what's his face from White House Briefing, John Miller, I think, and he was talking about President Trump and how he hates John McCain. No surprise there, and that the media focuses on this. And I just learned that people speaking at John McCain's funeral used it to attack Trump. That's the last place you should do that. We should be honoring the dead. We should be mournful for the dead, and yet people use these events for politics.
That's not the first time. Anytime there's a shooting in California, the first thing I hear from the media, gun control. Anytime there's any type of tragedy, it's we need to legislate this away. The talking heads in politics are always going to sit there and take every chance they can to increase their status.
Sorry.
For what?
Freemasonry.
Laugh. If I say something funny, fucking laugh.
No. I was laughing away. Fucking Mac said in the chat, fucking Freemason jars. It makes no sense, but it just made me laugh really hard.
Well, you got Freemasons, and then you got Mason jars, so Freemason jar.
Oh my god.
But very punny, my friend. Very punny.
Oh my god.
I do what I can.
And occasionally you succeed.
Indeed.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said to me, folks.
Oh.
No, it's true. In fact, some of the meaner things I've said are not fit for human consumption.
But yeah, you're absolutely correct. I mean, every event is used for grandstanding. But, you know, it's like the thing that I've been hearing a lot lately, like apparently 40 Christians have died in a Muslim country somewhere. That's not being broadcasted on the media because it goes against the narrative. Oh, the poor Muslims, they were attacked by a white man. Let's blame all white men. Let's blame all men. Oh, he had a gun. We need to get rid of guns because if no one has guns, there can be no mass shootings.
Yeah, great. No one has guns. I'm trained in martial arts. I can actually kill somebody with my bare hands. I
want to do that.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I will be the first one to tell you, you do not want to take a human life because it scars you.
I don't want to actually kill someone. I want to be able to.
Oh, I can teach you how to do that easily.
Well, no. See, I don't want to say I don't want to take a human life, but I'm not going to say that I do because that would be inappropriate to say on air. Not
to mention, I've got a few clips around there of things I've said that the feminists took way out of context.
Oh, really?
So, oh, yeah.
I wish people took me out of context. I haven't heard one yet. Not a single one. Nobody has tried to take anything that I've said and make it sound weird. I have some weird videos. Like, I made a blackface makeup tutorial video, and nobody has said anything about it.
Well, that's the great thing about being a smaller channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to go after you.
Well, see, that didn't get taken down, but then the fucking... remember when you... Matt, you remember when YouTube was, for some reason, doing the purge when they were taking out all of the swear words in titles, I guess. But it was anything from boobs and dicks to when I put tits versus ass in my title. And it was because it was a video about, like, game, ass and tits in video games. And there's, like, hundreds of fucking videos out there of literal, like, asses and tits. But, mine got taken down just because it had tits and ass in the title.
Yep.
But whatever.
Well, look at the strict... Look, okay, one more thing on this, and then I'm going to move us back to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And look at the female streamers. They're half the time they're as close to naked as they can legally get without getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that just to exploit men and get them to donate as much as they can. Men are stupid. Something in RD, one of my.
I wish that worked for me.
I don't know. I don't see any problems. But anyway, moving back to New Zealand.
Well, no. I want to say one thing.
Okay.
There is such a thing as toxic masculinity. It's all of the stupidity. Men, stop being stupid. Okay, go.
But going back to New Zealand, if you actually read the Shooter's Manifesto, which I actually recommend to people. In fact, I even tweeted at Ben Shapiro. I disagree with him saying, don't share this. I say share the shit out of it and say this is what he's doing. Because if you watch what the media is doing, you watch what New Zealand's doing, you watch all the talking heads, he said they would do these things. He wants them to do these things so that they will stomp on our rights and cause a civil war faster. And he's played them like a supervillain. I mean, supervillains are jealous that he did such a good job.
Leave it to the media to be stupid. But the only guarantees in life is death, taxes, and the media being stupid.
Among other things. But getting back to your Christian point, it's not just like 40 Christians in a Muslim country getting killed recently. If you go back, there's been tens of thousands. And you're not going to see media reporting on it very much. You actually have to dig for these things.
Well, and that was actually, and this was something I actually knew before, but if you watch the Red Pill film, this is a point that Karen Strong brought up with Boko Haram. They were attacking little boys constantly. They were either conscripting them, they were killing them, they were doing everything they could to get media attention. But the moment they went after little girls, that's when they got media attention. And you got to really think about that.
And you had Michelle Obama going on TV saying, "Bring back our girls."
But think about that. How many little boys had to die because they wanted to get media attention? And had they gotten the media attention, maybe they would have stopped killing little boys. Well,
no.
Maybe not. I'll agree with you that they probably wouldn't. But they were just doing it so needlessly. We needed to respond to it faster. But because it's little boys, hey, that's not a big deal. Oh, no, a little girl skinned her knee. Let's have a big media announcement of this. This little girl skinned her knee. How President Trump is at fault and all men are toxic.
Well, I'll say the same thing I say every time when a feminist says something about toxic masculinity. She can suck my toxic masculinity. But only if she's hot.
Only she put the bag on her head.
I'm going to go grab a drink and possibly some alcohol. I'll be right back.
So Detlef Irritine says, if I want someone to strip, I'll pay Mad Cat. Dude, I'll do it for free.
No,
please, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here before this. You guys are on your own.
Oh, thanks for leaving me with the weirdo.
Oh, you like it.
Yeah.
But no, and that's what I enjoy about you, Jim, because I've never really seen you stray in all the years I've known you. Some people, they kind of get flexible with certain issues, and it's like, that doesn't support what you say about this when you go from point A to point B. And the thing I like about you is, like, you're on the straight and narrow. I mean, you can be an asshole sometimes, which I think is a good quality, but there's no deviation. You're just like, hey, killing is bad, but it's like we need to, and I hate to quote Bill Maher, but the best disinfectant is sunlight.
Well, it's not just Bill Maher who said that.
That's the one I remember.
You also have Milo. You have others. It's a good quote. But what you also need to remember is, I speak in generalities. Like you say, killing is bad. Yeah, generally killing is bad. There are cases where you have to kind of say, well, it's either them or me. I'm going to choose me. I'm generally against violence, but at the same time, it's like, if I have to protect myself, those I care about, sorry, dude, you're going to be getting hurt. My thing with just about everything is, you have a general set, and then you have the extremes. The extremes do not dictate the rules for the general set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for the majority of the time, I can sit there and say, yeah, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And for the majority of the time, it's like, okay, I don't have to. I don't have to deviate from what I want. But then there's the extremes, like currently. You have the identity politics. You have feminists sitting there pushing, getting rid of people for doing stupid shit, which some of them, like, okay, we'll go to the Me Too movement. You want to talk about toxic masculinity. You could sit there and say Harvey Weinstein. But the truth of the matter is Harvey Weinstein was an asshole who gained a bunch of power and then was sitting there saying, hey, baby, I'll put you in a film if you do certain things for me. one of my favorite.
They willingly did it.
And they willingly did it. I even said, it's like Rose McGowan went and did whatever she wanted, whatever she did with Harvey Weinstein by choice, and then turned around and complained about it. What was, oh God, the girl from Jerry Maguire. She's like, I did more for less.
Well, and here's my takeaway from...
Too bad for you, bitch! Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she's
well, no, I have respect for her. She didn't sit there and go, yeah, Harvey Weinstein needs to be thrown out. No, she's like, fuck, I did more for less. But she at least owned the fact that she did it. She at least owned the fact that she was trading whatever she traded for an advancement in her career. I'm not a big fan of the people who are saying, well, I was sexually harassed for this. Bitch, you stripped down and took a cock for your career. Don't even.
I mean, honestly, there's only a few dicks I would refuse to suck if it gave me a certain amount of power and or fame. Like, I'm just not everybody knows I'm a sexual person, but like there are people. There are women out there. Women, you don't have to pretend that you don't like sex. You can. I like.
You want to suck a dick? Suck a dick. Yeah, I don't care.
Suck a dick. Just
well,
chill.
Here's my takeaway from the Me Too movement, specifically Harvey Weinstein. Yes, he's an asshole, and if he did actually rape anyone, he needs to go to jail. I said the same thing about Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
But let's look at these women for a moment. All of these women claim that over the last 20 years. They were all raped. And in fact, Tina Fey on the show 30 Rock made a joke about it. It's like, oh, yes, I warded off, what's his face, 3 out of 5 times. And it was a big joke in Hollywood. Everyone knew about it, but no one came forward because, you know, they got a career out of it. But supposedly it was all rape. And it's like, think about this. You got raped and got a career out of it. And I know they didn't get raped. They did it voluntarily. But you got raped, didn't report it. So the next person and the next person after that. So if Harvey Weinstein did rape you and you didn't report it, you're responsible for every victim after that.
I actually made that same argument to some friends of mine. They got upset. And I said, look, if they did it, if they did get raped, and they didn't report it, that's on them. And everybody who it happened to afterwards is a victim of their being unwilling to stand up for their principles. Now, the fact that they didn't stand up for their principles, the fact that they got a career out of it, tells me it wasn't rape. What it was they were prostituting themselves. Call a spade on that one.
Hey, if someone says, I'll make you a star, all you have to do is sleep with me, they're giving you a choice. You can try to make it on your own.
All you got to do is sleep with me.
Yeah, you can make it on your own. Hey, Harvey Weinstein, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm an honest person. I want to be known for my talent. And you leave the office. You don't appear in his movies. There are plenty of other people making movies right now.
Well, let's look at Cassie J. She actually, she was on a set. She was an actress in Hollywood. She was on a set. They wanted her to do, I think it was topless. She refused. Guess what? She still did a couple of movies afterwards.
Yeah. There you
and
go.
she became a documentarian who did many different movies and got funding for it.
Yeah, and she's also a really sweet person. I like chatting with her on Twitter.
I've interacted with her a few times, but I'm sure she's very busy. She's apparently coming out with a new documentary, but I don't know what it is yet. I don't think anyone knows what it is yet.
Well, I'll be happy to fund throw a few shekels away. I take it you did, Medusa didn't hear my offer.
Sorry. Wait, what? About sleeping with you or something else?
I said I'd make you a star if you sleep with me.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I believe you.
Now, will that star be out of paper or metal?
No, that's called a position, dude.
But yeah, I was just looking because Mr. Misanthropic donated $2. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna post a butt pic because you did that. Thanks. Oh, just for you. Special
So
beauty
if
pic.
anyone wants to come in and join us, go ahead. You said that there was someone who offered to join
yeah.
us. So
Yeah, it's Mr. Misanthropic.
I figured it was, but I didn't want to be like, oh, he donated $2. Now he gets to come on.
Bitch, get the fuck on here. All right. I sent him the link.
It's like I said in my rant. I mean, the big danger that we have with this is that we're trying to indoctrinate children. And something I wanted to say that I didn't get a chance to mention is that we now see these stories of the transgender issue. And I think it originates with toxic masculinity of, oh, my little boy says he wants to be a girl. I'm going to make him a girl. And I'm willing to bet that most of those cases, the little boy didn't even say they wanted to be a girl. It's just, and I've even read articles where these women are talking about how they're trying to get rid of toxic masculinity in little boys. Like they go to school and surrounded by toxic masculinity, and when they get home, we make sure they don't do anything toxic. And it's like, so you're stripping away his identity. That's child abuse.
Yes. But actually, if you go back to what you were saying, psychological literature says that, even the boys who start playing dress up in their mother's clothes and whatnot, most of the time with the transgender issue that they're pushing, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, and this is Dr. Deborah So who points this out, most of the time they end up becoming completely well-adjusted gay men. Or even in the case of girls who do the same thing, well-adjusted lesbians. Nothing wrong with that. So in a certain context, you could sit there and say this transgender issue is completely there to wipe out the gay and bisexual, gay and lesbian community.
Wipe out the gay. So that's how I heard it at first. I was like, oh shit.
No, that is a very interesting point.
I think she loves her meat.
I do, and so does my little man here. He really wants my meat.
Now we just stopped to watch her eat.
Yeah, well.
No. Here. Aw.
So Professor Platypus talks about Andrew Yang again speaking against MGM. Well, good kudos for him, but that's not going to make me vote for him.
Well, I'm going to sit there and point out,
right,
because I'm a huge fan of Tim Pool. I listen to him daily. He donated to Andrew Yang. I've looked into Andrew Yang a little bit. Some of his policies, okay, I can get behind. The being against circumcision, I can get behind that. The fact that he wants to institute universal basic income, which failed in another country that has better support for it than ours.
Finland.
Yeah, Finland. It failed in Finland after 2 years. Yeah, no, I think I think he's got his head up his ass in certain areas.
Yeah.
But, the old saying of his heart's in the right place, I think that's wrong. I think that saying is wrong. I think it's more your head's up your ass.
I think a more appropriate saying is that, a broken watch is right twice a day.
That's true. That is true. But the reason why I say it's your head is up your ass is because it's what I call utopian thinking. It's fantasy. You want things to be good. Things aren't always going to be good.
Well, you also have to wonder, like, how much of that is his own opinion and how much of it is the opinion of other people that he's trying to appease.
Yeah. And as I was arguing with idiots on Twitter over the Electoral College, you know, the Electoral College is a good thing. I would like to keep it around because at least, if nothing else, the politicians have to lie to everybody equally.
Well, there I have to agree with you. I'm actually against the Electoral College, but not in favor of the popular vote. And I know it's like one or the other, and I'm more in favor of alternate votes. But if we can't have alternate votes, I would keep the Electoral College to prevent popular vote from happening. But you're perfectly right. The Electoral College at least ensures that candidates don't just go to California, New York. They actually have to travel around.
Yeah, and to a certain degree, they have to actually listen to the constituents. That's what Trump did right, because he did travel around. He did listen to people. The reason why he was deemed a populist was because he was listening to people and trying to put forth their issues and trying to resolve them. And for the most part, I would say he did a decent job.
I think he's done a decent job. He didn't do the one thing that I really wanted, and I'm sure it wouldn't have been very easy to do, which was arrest Hillary Clinton.
Unfortunately,
to do the arresting himself.
Unfortunately, Clinton is too shady to be arrested. What is it? You know, she bleach bit the server, so there's nothing in there that you can tie to her. She destroyed the phones. There's no hard evidence to sit there and put her in jail. But you know the old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. If you're going to bleach bit, somebody's doing something wrong. If you're destroying phones, somebody's doing something wrong. And we've got a Mr. Method.
What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm not even going to say it.
Well,
Yeah,
hi,
no
how you
one
doing?
will say it.
Oh, Mr. Misanthropic. Yeah, just do what Mad Cat does. Just call me Mr. That's fine. I'm used to it at this point.
Mr. Man.
How about I just call you dude?
I like that even better.
Hey, dude.
Hey.
So,
All right,
we're
fine.
talking
Man, I
about-
just had a wicked burp and none of you heard it. Damn.
No,
I'm just gonna
we
have to
don't
do
care
another one.
about you. This is the Macho Show,
Oh, I'm
not
sorry. I
the
didn't know this was
woman
not my
show.
channel.
Hey, let the men talk, okay?
I'm sorry. I forgot that my purpose was to serve you.
So we're talking about toxic masculinity, Mr.
Oh, yeah, it was like...
I give that a 4. I give that a 4.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, 4 out of 10 at best.
I'll do better. Don't worry.
Crom's balls, even Brittany Venti does better burps into the microphone.
I haven't heard her burp. I just like her tits.
I just like the fact that he said Crom's balls. I mean, come on.
I don't know what that means.
It's Conan the Barbarian. I
don't know what that is.
You need to come out to my place, and I'm going to educate you.
Whoa. Okay.
That sounds like rape.
Hey,
that
she
sounds
comes
like
willingly.
Weinstein. Yeah. Remember, Medusa, you just got to do what all those bitches in Hollywood did with Weinstein. Just play the game. Mm-hmm. Play the game to get ahead. And to get ahead, you have to give it.
And you'll get a career.
Get ahead. You gotta give a little head. I like that.
Hey, just go balls deep. Don't worry, he's not that long.
Oh my god. How do you know?
I was talking about Jim, not Harvey Weinstein.
And I'm just letting
did anyone else hear that? Yeah, did anyone else hear that like leaked tape of his where he's just like begging that chick to like come into his room, just like please stop trying to leave. You're embarrassing me. So
Oh my
God. Like, God, what a fucking loser this guy is.
I can't handle people that are like so desperate like that. Like they're like the dudes that like they're like the dudes on Facebook that are like hey, call me. Like fucking no. Oh,
well, you know what I did, because guys get similar. We get those girls who are like, I'm looking for a relationship. I'm like, look, if you're not going to send me nudes right now, there's no way in hell you're getting a relationship out of me.
Exactly.
I mean, you gotta know what you're getting into.
I like this guy. I like you. Yeah, that's literally what my Instagram DMs were like until I just closed them because I was just like, I'm tired of just like a account that joined yesterday with one picture just telling me that she wants to fuck me. I'm just like, you're not real.
Yeah.
It's like either just go ahead and send me the AIDS virus or fuck off.
I get people messaging Derp's Instagram just because I set him as male. I'm saying, do you want to see my pussy and shit like that? Like, to a dog.
I literally have like 5 of those a day. I really wish they were real. That'd be amazing.
Well, dude, it doesn't matter if they're real or not. Just have fun with it. Screw with them as much as you can.
Dude, there was one. Dude, there was one time there was like one of those bot accounts on Tinder that just started messaging me. I just started like copying pasting sections from Mein Kampf, and it was just saying just like
perfect.
And it was just saying like
what are you, like, a feminist writer?
Dude, one time I got one of those on like Yahoo Messenger when I was still, or when they still had it like combined with the email or whatever. And I got one messaging me, and it was like, "Hey, do you want to come to this website? Yeah, you just need to enter your credit card, but it won't charge you for anything." And I was like,
yeah,
okay,
bullshit.
I was like, I am 15 years old. Like, that's all I said. And they're like, "I'll see you there." And I was like, "You understand I am underage." And they're like, "Come play with me." Like, just keep going. And I was like, okay, yep.
It's a bot. That's the thing. It was a bot.
Oh yeah, no, it was just I wanted to get that screen cap of like, I'm underage, right? Yes, come play with me.
No. See, the thing is, Medusa, the guy is from Korea, and they have 12-year-olds acting as prostitutes, so that it's like, oh, she's 15, she's perfect.
Oh my god. Okay, that's terrifying.
Either that or it's just an Indian guy just begging for some bobs and vagine.
Yeah. And actually, Mad Cat, Korea, they do have restrictions on age.
Yeah,
Thailand, on the other hand,
Korea is not the Middle East where they do maternity ward marriages.
Oh,
maternity ward marriages?
He's being hyperbolic, but man,
the sad thing is that it's really not by much. I'm really not even exaggerating that much. That's the sad part.
I think some context is needed here.
So wait, are you saying that they marry babies or something? I don't know.
They marry all very young children.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Very young.
I see. That is creepy.
That
and
is
there,
an understatement.
Is there registry at Toys R Us?
Probably was until Toys R Us went under.
Press F for Toys R Us. Moment of silence.
Oh my god.
Not really. Let there not be dead air.
Well, okay. There's nothing wrong with dead air if you're wanting to get the point through for a second. I mean, sometimes dead air is is perfect.
Hey, we had
like,
dead air watching Medusa eat, so
yeah, dead air's good.
Hey,
like
she
when
took
I make
that
a
meat
pie.
like a champ, dude.
Oh, Medusa always takes meat like a champ.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm probably about to eat some
she takes
meat
you
after
like a champ. She takes you like Mike Tyson. She always bites something off.
Oh,
Ooh, maybe. Not just.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about that circumcision.
I don't know. It's starting to sound like Medusa's a little bit dangerous. You definitely need to come over and meet me.
Dangerous. Okay. Medusa's so dangerous.
Yeah.
I was just listening to That was
a 6. I'll give her a 6 on that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll give her a 69.
Okay. Thank you. Wait, out of 100?
You thought I was wearing a leather daddy outfit? I wish I had a leather daddy outfit. I would only ever wear.
Daddy?
Don't ask.
You know the Gimp from Pulp Fiction?
I guess, yeah.
Similar along those lines.
Okay.
Kind of like that, but different.
Okay. Might have to Google it.
Go incognito.
Weirder
first.
things, okay?
I'm friendly with Mercedes Carrera, so.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, I heard something about that. I heard something about that, but that was when I was in California. And my phone was off for most of the time because I had no signal out there. Because I was in the middle of the fucking desert.
Nice.
California is a terrible place for terrible people, and no civilized person should ever go there.
Well, thankfully, I'm not someone you considered civilized. So,
neither am I.
I was born there, and I only visit periodically. I don't
see. I remember a few years ago I was gonna move to. Me and a band I was in, we were gonna move to LA because one of the guys knew a music publicist out there. I'm so glad I didn't go. Also,
did he spend a lot of time on his knees?
I most likely, but also because that band never went anywhere, so I would have just been stuck in the city of failure for no reason.
The thing with it is,
have a van that you had to go for interviews?
Yeah.
Well, it's Hollywood, so probably. And yeah, one thing with the Me Too that you guys were talking about earlier, it's like people acted like it was such a shock. Oh my God, Hollywood's full of pedophiles and rapists. No fucking shit. People like Corey Feldman and Elijah Wood and Milo Yiannopoulos have been trying to say that for decades, but no one would listen to them.
Well,
it was like when Corey Feldman was it's like when Corey Feldman was talking about that on Oprah. Oprah's reaction to it was, "You're going to destroy an entire industry." Not holy shit. You and Corey Haim were getting passed around the fucking executives at age 9.
And Corey Feldman committed suicide or was it Corey Haim?
Corey Haim. Did he commit suicide? I thought it was an OD. Or was it suicide by OD? I don't remember. All I know is that Corey Haim is dead now, and both of them ended up strung the fuck out on drugs because of that.
What were you going to say, Jim?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, living so close to Hollywood, you always hear these rumors. You hear about it all the time. Even then, you go with what Milo Yiannopoulos said. You hear someone's a feminist, you start a man's a feminist. You start the countdown on there for the rape accusation
charge. Yeah, by the way, who do you think is going to be the next next big male feminist accused of rape? Steve Shives or Justin Trudeau?
Trudeau's already been accused of a few things, but
Trudeau, he has?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I need to look this up. I don't really pay much attention to what goes on in America's hat. But
well, I want to say just the point that you brought up with Hollywood. Let's go back further than that. Roman Polanski had sex with someone who's
he was raping 12-year-olds.
Let me finish. But the kicker is like about 10 years ago, they had like an Academy Awards, and he got a standing ovation from everyone, even though he's not allowed back in the United States. He had to flee this country to avoid getting arrested for having sex with a 12-year-old girl, and yet everyone's like, oh, he's such a great filmmaker.
Oh my God, what?
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember I read an article one time. It was like some fucking Hollywood virtue signaler cunt was talking about like great men in like great allies in the industry and mentioned Roman Polanski. I'm just like, the guy was raping 12-year-olds and is now in hiding in another country.
What?
Yes.
And it's not even like, oh, she agreed to have sex and she's too young to give consent. No, he drugged her and then had sex with her.
Exactly.
Lovely.
You don't hear
what movies did this person make?
Roman Polanski. He did a lot. The Poltergeist. The Poltergeist, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, Mr. Misanthropic, I'm gonna change the subject really quick. I'm gonna post a butt pic since you donated. So do you want one with my diva outfit or my Kill Bill outfit?
Yes.
Which one?
We don't
Yes.
care.
Well, I said Kill Bill last, and then I'm gonna go with that.
He just wants to see your butt.
Okay.
I got a nice shot of it as you were walking away.
And on that note, I need to go make some coffee real quick.
Okay, so.
What are you doing? What are you doing, silly
What,
butt?
is that spank bank material? Come on, dude.
It's kind of been my gimmick on this show.
Like,
I've done that. I'm just gonna keep running that joke into the ground.
You're gonna beat that dead horse until it stops kicking?
Yes.
oh God, Turf! Why did you fart?
I figured he would beat
Turfy.
he would beat the horse until it comes.
You insulted my nostrils.
Go to daddy. Go see daddy.
Hashtag me poo.
No! Gross!
But you know, I don't remember who said this, but someone said that, you know, if you look at Hollywood, you wonder why there are so many feminists there. Maybe it's because all of the fucking idiots they hang around with, the liberals and whatnot, are these horrible human beings that these women are afraid of.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's one example that really kind of shocked me was Robert De Niro. I mean, he made a campaign, like videos before the election, like, I want to punch Donald Trump in the face.
Right.
And yet he's brought up on child sex charges.
Wait, De Niro got brought up on child sex charges? What?
Oh my God.
No!
Now, I don't know if he's actually guilty of it, but it's just like...
Oh, and then he turned around and after the accusation, he's like, I'm gay. Like, that's going to get him out of...
Are you serious?
Wait, he pulled a Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
God damn.
Wait, Kevin Spacey did that?
Yeah, he did.
Well, yeah, when Kevin Spacey was outed as trying to rape a child several times when he was doing, like, stage acting, the only thing he said about it was just like, oh, I was so drunk I don't remember that night, and and by the way, I'm now gay. It's just like, motherfucker, I've been blackout drunk more times than I can count. I've never tried to fucking rape someone, let alone a child. Like, I remember.
You know what? I've actually got you beat there, buddy. When I was in Japan, I was out drinking late, and I mean late, 2 a.m., dancing with this cute girl at a bar. She was basically saying, come back to my place. I was fairly well lit, and the only reason I didn't do it was she had a husband.
The only reason why you didn't do it is because all the Japanese babes in bars have AIDS.
She was American.
Oh, well, then
her husband was a sailor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, don't be Jody, boy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been blacked out drunk where I fucked a child. I fucked a donut, but not a child.
Hey, it could be worse. You could be what's his name? The guy who fucked the pie.
American Pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah, I remember one thing. It's like, think whatever you will of Milo Yiannopoulos, but he went on like a 10-minute rampage about Kevin Spacey trying to pull the "I'm gay, so it's okay" excuse.
Why do you think he was trying to do that? I mean, partly, I think Kevin Spacey and now Robert De Niro were pulling the gay card because being gay is protected. Oh, if you're gay, if you're a woman, if you're black, you're more protected, so we're more forgiving.
Yeah, you're a protected class, so you can do no wrong.
Well, I'm going to sit there and say the same thing I've said numerous times on this. You know, the minute you start protecting people, you have to extend those protections to more and more, and eventually nobody's really protected, which is why I say there should be no protected class. My family has a history of police officers. I had a cop sitting there going, "We want to make police officers a protected class," and I said, "No, you don't want to make anybody a protected class, because the protected class is the special class. You're raising them above everybody else, and to a certain degree, it's also the bigotry of the soft bigotry of low expectations. You're saying that they can't deal with just a painful life."
Yeah. Yeah, it's like also nothing. It's like all these people, all these groups who want to make such and such a protected class, they always claim to be an equality movement or whatever. It's like if there are people who are a protected class, it by definition is not an equality movement, because you can't have any sort of equality when people are being protected actually over other people. That's called the caste system.
Yep.
Oh, we're starting to see that now, though, which is kind of ironic considering our history of segregation in dorm rooms, where we have black-only dorm rooms, or rather, whites aren't allowed dorm rooms. And it's like,
What?
did we just transfer 50 years back when, well, probably 70 years, back when segregation was the thing and we'd have whites only and blacks only, and now we're doing that again?
Of course. And if you look at it, I mean, I was arguing with a guy on Twitter, going back to the Electoral College thing. I was sitting there pointing out, it's like, you know, the Democrats are trying to push what they want, and it's not good, and it's authoritarian. And I was pointing out how they made several of the states that are basically Democrat-leaning 100% winner take all for the electoral votes. The Democrats removed the minority veto when they were in power, because they thought they'd never be the minority in Congress again. Now they're trying to get rid of the Electoral College. To borrow Tim Pool's turn of phrase, how many grains of sand make a heap? At some point, you got to sit there and say, the Democrats are not out for people's best interests. They're out for power and authority.
Exactly.
And control.
Well, and this is the point that I've been talking about lately with the Democrats right now. Look at everything they're doing. They're not talking about policy. They're not talking about, you know, what they really want to do. They're saying, hey, we're going to give black people reparations. Hey, we're going to give everyone a basic income of $1,000 a month. We're going to bribe you to vote for us.
Yep.
And if anyone's ever paid attention to an election campaign, they don't keep their promises. They're just running for the office. What they actually do for the office is something completely different.
Cat, if you look and you Google this, you'll find the Democratic Party actually argued to some court that they're not legally required to keep their campaign promises.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Oh shit! Hey, do you have the link for that?
I'll look it up again.
Yeah. Whenever you do, just I'll find a way to get in contact with you so that I can because
I'll put it in the chat.
All right, yeah, because that's definitely something I would love to take a look at. I'd probably make a video. I'll probably make a video on that. Thanks. You just gave me a reason to keep making videos.
Hey, I do that every once in a while.
Yeah, but yeah, it was like one thing I do want to kind of take a step back to with the Me Too shit. It's like when Gillette did that fucking toxic masculinity ad, and where they did like the Terry Crews bit, who he's been like a big thing about talking about toxic masculinity and shit. It was like that clip that they took for him where he was talking about men, we need to hold each other accountable. That was like it's like while I do think that it's stupid as fuck does think that, but it's like they took that completely out of context because that was the interview. That was the clip where Terry Crews was talking about where he himself was like sexually assaulted and abused while starting in Hollywood, which like that I honestly can't understand why he's a big shill for the fucking toxic masculinity shit. But
I want to like Terry Crews, but he came in the news recently where he was on Twitter saying, one, women shouldn't be a part of father issues. I mean, women always say that men shouldn't be a part of the abortion issue, but they stick their nose into what it means to be a father. And he's sitting there saying women shouldn't be a part of that conversation and that little children need fathers growing up. And it's been proven. But let me finish.
Sorry.
I don't mind that you interrupt me, but sometimes I want to finish a point.
Sorry.
But then the LGBT came out of the woodworks, and it's like, oh, well, you're just saying that lesbians can't be a good parent because there's no father. And the fucktard apologized, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, and completely reversed everything he said. He's sitting there standing up for fathers and men's roles in the family, and then now negates all of that because some bitch cried.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, because it's like the evidence at this point is catafalcing-goric. Like, children fucking need male role models and father figures in their lives. Mm-hmm. It's been completely proven at every single level at this point. And it's like that was one of the things that I did talk about with that I did agree with Terry Crews about, because it was it's like he was talking about, it's just like, just because as there are women who can do a good job at raising children, that doesn't mean that fathers should be excluded because children need a father figure. And that also just once again goes back to never fucking apologize to these people, because what they don't want a fucking apology. What they want is to be able to show that you can be manipulated and publicly shamed to the point of being able to bend the knee to a bunch of whining fucking cunts who don't give a shit about anything, who just want to be able to have people wrapped around their little finger.
Well, I think it's actually worse than that. Jordan Peterson says it's like you do need two parents. The data indicates two parents. It doesn't say whether it's man or woman. You need somebody to take on the more masculine role, someone to take on the more feminine role. That, throughout history, has generally been men taking on the masculine, women being the more feminine. But you need both in order to develop a healthy respect for both sexes. This is why, when I look at feminists, I wonder how many of them are single mother households. How many of them are just really fucked up psychologically?
Well, I'll agree with you to a point. I do think that you need both influences in a child's life, but I think a lesbian couple or a gay couple can give the energies that are needed as far
Did
as...
I say that it could be to women?
Hold on. I'm not saying that you did or did not say something. Right. I'm just wanting to add to the conversation.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. It can be to women. I'm just saying that there needs to be someone who fulfills the more masculine side and someone who fulfills the more feminine side.
But that's not
that
exactly
can be two men. That can be two women.
That's not exactly my point, though. The point that I want to make is that while, yes, one can fulfill the more masculine role in a lesbian parenthood, they still need a male in their life.
Oh, yeah.
Someone that they can see this is a good representation of a male. Or in a gay couple, they still need a representation of what a good female is.
Oh, definitely. But you usually have that from siblings. And that's fine. When I mean siblings is like aunts and uncles. And that's fine. That is good. But again, it does also go back to the single parent household versus the two-parent household, which the data suggests two-parent is far and away superior. And I have no problem stating that for anybody who wants to sit there and say, well, I was raised by a single mom. Okay, the exception to the rule does not disprove the rule or the data.
And, I could make that argument as well that I was raised by a father figure and he did more harm than good. But I'm the exception to the rule.
Yeah. Well, you also have decent male role models within the MRM. Something I would say you would agree with.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had decent male role models in school.
Back when we had male teachers, yes.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite teachers were males.
One of my favorite ones was my sophomore biology teacher. But yes, you do need both masculine and feminine. You do need men and women. And whether the feminists want to cry, well, you're discluding, fuck you. You do need them both. History, biology, both of those things prove it. You can suck dude's dick.
Sucking dudes' dicks.
Gladly.
But yeah, it's I do agree with what you said, Jim. It's excuse me, it's like a child needs someone that they can look up to, whether it be a male or a female. It's like with males need male role models, Jesus Christ, and females need female role models. It's that simple. It's like whether it be a parent or a coach or a teacher or anything, they need someone that they can look up to show them how to be a well-balanced individual. Which is why it's like,
I agree with you on that, but I'm actually going to go a step further. I think we need good role models for everybody of both sexes. And here's why. Because if we have good role models of the male variety, we can do well, which to a certain degree, I can see that's why feminists are harping on about toxic masculinity. They want those good role models. The problem with it is they're around crappy human beings because they're crappy human beings themselves, which goes to my other point, which is we need good female role models.
Exactly.
So that for men, we can say, this is a good female role model. This is someone worth dating and making a partner.
That's one thing that really pisses me off is how low men's expectations are now for women, because they're just like, oh, all I have to do is buy them things and be a perfect, the
perfect little cuck,
a robot, and then maybe they'll want to marry me, and that's not what love or relationships are about at all. You can't have a materialistic relationship, and that's what most women want these days. That's what's sad.
Well, I hate to say it, And this is going to sound harsh. I love my parents dearly, but to a certain degree, they're responsible for showing that to their children. Their parents were responsible for showing that to their children. And whether we want to admit it or not, we are fucking up by showing our children bad examples of things. The whole, she's upset with you, guys, buy her flowers. You know what? She's upset with me. Let's go in the bedroom and hash it out.
Yeah.
Well, it's even worse than that, though. It's not just go and buy her shit if she's upset. If she's angry with you, apologize to her, even if it's not your fault.
Even if she's wrong. Yeah.
Once again, never apologize.
No. That's where I will disagree. If you're wrong and you're wrong, apologize. Hey, there's nothing wrong with eating a little crow. Hey, I fucked up. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's also you gotta realize you gotta be in a relationship where the other person Medusa can apologize too.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Medusa.
I was gonna say, in the case of Terry Crews, he just automatically apologized. Like she said, but like Medusa said, what's important is it has to be both parties willing to do that. Both parties have to be open to saying, hey, look, I made a mistake. Which if you listen to Jordan Peterson, he says, I need, if I make a mistake, I'll apologize. I'll tell my wife where I fucked up. She's more likely to do that back to me, which I think that's a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to know your strengths and weaknesses too.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go back a moment, but stay on Jordan Peterson when we're talking about role models, because there's something that he talked about in relation to Joseph Campbell. He did the monomyth or the hero's journey. And one of the important things in all of our lives that Jordan Peterson was talking about is the second father. Now, this was more directed towards men, but it's also true for women as well. A second mother, or across the spectrum, you need a second parent group, a second father and second mother. Basically, someone outside of your family that teaches you how to be an adult. Your parents give you the structure of how to represent yourself to other people, but when you find that person who will be your mentor, they will teach you the rest of the way how to be an adult, like getting an apprenticeship. You have someone who instructs you on a task, like blacksmith, but this is more for life in general. And that's a very important part. And it's not so much that we need really good parents. We do, but we need other good people outside of that. And I know we were talking a lot about that, but I just kind of wanted to bring that more home. Well, we need several role models throughout our lives.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. And to kind of all encompass that and bring it all together, we have Peterson sits there and he talks about taking on your responsibility, cleaning up your room, working on yourself first. Because if you work on yourself, you're going to be a better person, and that will ripple out into society. And
the change you want to see in the world.
Yes, to a certain degree, that is true. However, what it also means is that will ripple out into society. That'll get more people to be better people. And the more people who are striving to do that, the better society will be overall and in the long term.
I agree. I mean, that's one thing that I feel like people take for granted is you have people tell you all the throughout your whole life, you have to love yourself before you can love someone else. And it's really, really true. You really can't. Even if you're not fully even if you're not the most confident, if you're still working towards that, working towards your goals and going through that journey with someone else, then it can also be beneficial. As long as you understand, because I still struggle with, anxiety and depression now and then, but because, I not only, I strive for myself and also my partner. So you have to believe in yourself and that you can, just be the best person for them as well, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying. I just to make sure I'm clear. It's like, you have to respect yourself. Otherwise, when your partner treads all over you, and we will, and that's male and female. If you're not respecting yourself, they will tread all over you. You get the anger, the resentment, and you're going to end up making people's life, your partner's life hell, and in return, your own life hell. If for no other reason, you should respect yourself enough to sit there and stand up to your partner, just so that you're not making your own life hell.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know people who just are in relationship after relationship, and because they don't respect themselves, they don't get respect back, and it's just like cycle.
Well, yeah, I was in that trap for the longest period of my life, where I mean, I didn't even respect myself to the point that I dated women I wanted to date. I dated women who were interested in me. Whether I held an interest in them or not didn't matter. I just assumed I can't go and get that really beautiful woman over there that I'm interested in. So if this woman over here says she's interested in me, well, that's good enough for me. And these were bad relationships. Now, to date, I haven't had a good relationship, and my last relationship was really tough, but I have a little bit more respect for myself because I didn't let her walk all over me. She still took advantage of me, and she still abused me, but at least I stood up for myself. At least I didn't put up with as much of her bullshit. And if go ahead.
I'm sorry, you can go ahead and finish.
Well, if I can add something, Mad Cat.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're doing better now. And just that experience of doing it that one time, you've learned quite a bit on what to avoid and how to make things better for yourself.
Yeah.
Moving forward. So you know what? I wouldn't consider it a total loss. And I'll be honest with you. My previous relationship with my lying, cheating whore of an ex and gaslighting bitch, trust me, she was bad. At least from that experience, I've learned, these are the things to avoid. Watch out for when she starts doing this. Hold my ground. It's like, if she's not honest, if she's not loyal, if she's not at least fairly intelligent, where I can hold a conversation with her on numerous subjects, she's really not worth my time.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly use that for everyone, not just, relationships, just anybody. If I can't have a conversation with you about anything and without you getting like super offended or like upset with me, then I would probably stay away from you.
Yeah. It's like Mad Cat, did you have anything that you want? Yeah, have anything you wanted to continue on with that before I say what I wanted to say about that? No, I didn't mean to interrupt you or anything.
No, it's fine. And I was going to have a tendency of rehashing whatever we did, so no, I'm good.
Yeah, it was like I want to say this is like I definitely agree with what you said, because it's like with all the stuff you said, because like I've been on the show to tell the stories about my fucking psychotic, cheating whore, crazy fucking ex, but yeah, it was like that was one of the things, because it was like this was a period of time where it's like I fell into that trap where it's like if you don't respect yourself, your partner's not going to respect you, etc., where you can just get walked all over. Because it was like I said God, I don't even remember how many episodes ago this was where we talked about this, but it was like, yeah, because it was like everybody else except for me saw the signs of, hey, this bitch is crazy, this bitch is going to do some crazy shit. And lo and behold, they were right. So it's another thing is another thing that I do want to add to is like the people who the people who you're close with, the people who you trust, etc. One thing I would definitely advise is definitely taking that at more than face value, Because if you're like me, who was with a girl who would like try to 86 these people from your life who could see what was going on and who could read the signs and knew what was about to happen. But because she knew that they were watching and their brains weren't clouded by sex, they knew exactly what was about to happen, and lo and behold, they were right.
If I can kind of condense that a little bit.
Of course, go ahead. I ramble a lot.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I know how to speak ramble very well. When we've got those rose-colored glasses of the endorphins for new relationship combined with sex, it's a very powerful drug, and it's very easy to lose sight of a lot of things. So having some fresh eyes outside of everything to sit there and give you some perspective, it helps quite a bit. It also helps to get rid of, to keep the crazy psycho bitches away, because they'll catch the crazy psycho bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've certainly had that too, where I've been gaslit. Like, one girl I was sort of dating was telling me, oh, your friend said this about you and that about you. And me, I'm the kind of guy that'll just go to the friend and it's like, I heard you saying some shit about me. And they're like, no. And I believe them. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, maybe she was just misinformed. I kept making excuses for it. And to me, this represents a much larger problem with men, is that we need to teach boys how to avoid this. And yet our approach when it comes to boys growing up is you treat a woman right, you respect her, you do what she says, you apologize, you buy her gifts. That's it. That's all the advice we give to men, and yet they still wind up in these situations. Well, and I think there needs to be more of a push of learn how to avoid bad women.
Well, I'm going to add something to that, because what advice do we really give women? I mean,
cry and show your tits, and then the guy will apologize, and everything will be okay.
No, I was told that I have to be afraid of men because they will try and have sex with me.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I was told.
Yeah, because it was like, yeah, that's insane. Because it's like,
yeah.
It's like, at the college I went to.
What we're trying to do, Medusa? Of course we're trying to have sex with you.
Well,
see, then I noticed that sex wasn't that bad. I was like, I'm the one that wants to have the sex sweat.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone wants to have sex with Medusa, but it was like, I remember when I was in college, I had to take fucking consent. I had to take a class on fucking consent. Yeah, it was
I took a little quiz on it. It was fucking stupid. They made me define cisgender. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, no, I remember in that class they were trying to, like, this was when they first started pushing, like, affirmative consent, where you have to ask, is this okay between every thrust, every position change, and every boob squeeze?
Oh, God.
Which, yeah, I'm just like, no, I'm not doing any of this, but... See, I refuse to ask if it's okay every time I thrust. So
if a girl can go up and grab a guy's dick at a bar or a club, which has happened to an ex-boyfriend of mine while I was dating him, he was afraid to tell me because he thought that he did something wrong. That's how bad it is.
That's happened to me many, many times. I can't tell you how many.
Grab your dick and they don't give a shit. But if you grab them by the pussy, that's fucking awful.
If you grab them by the pussy or touch them at all, it's horrible.
Yeah.
You grab them by the pussy, it's okay. They let you do it. It's supposed to be grabbed. That's why it's called a snatch.
I want a shirt that says "Grab me by the pussy." I'm gonna make it.
Well, and I've had that in the BDSM community. While it wasn't grabbing my dick, it's like there's firm rules that at parties, we go over the rules with new members. this is what you're not allowed to do, and it's to touch people without consent. And yet women would go around and touch men all the time without their consent. Now, I didn't say anything because I enjoy the touching, but I hate the hypocrisy, because if I went up and touched a woman the way she touched me, I'd be kicked out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like it's like I go to any bar near last call, and that I can guarantee you any man that's gonna happen to you. But also it's like I've actually had to quit a job. I've actually had to leave a job before. This was back when I was still a cook, when I was just cooking in bars and stuff. Where it was like there was one particular bar. It's like I had to quit because one of the bartenders, who I was absolutely not into at all, would just be would just like rub, just like grabbing my ass, grabbing my dick and stuff. And I'm just like, and it's like I'm like trying to talk. It's like I'm outside smoking a cigarette with the manager and stuff. And I'm just like, yo, dude, this is not okay. This is not something I'm into. And it's like pretty much the response I always got was, "What are you, a faggot?"
Yeah.
No. My answer is generally no. She's about as attractive as Jabba the Hutt.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's like maybe if I was in the meth face, but
oh, gross.
Yeah, don't ever work in a bar because everyone is fucking each other and everyone's also a joke.
See, I avoided fucking people when I worked at, well, it was a bar / restaurant / pool hall / bowling alley, so
yeah,
I guess it was a little spread out.
Either way, don't shit where you eat. You don't ever mix business with pleasure. Because every time it happens, it was
right next to a strip club, though.
Nice.
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
There is a time to mix business with pleasure, but only if you're a stripper or a prostitute.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
Or a cam girl.
Same thing, really.
Fair point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but a stripper's pleasure is making money, not really the sex.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, true.
I don't know. I've had a couple of strippers get off on me while they were giving me lap dances. So
look. All I will say is, last strip club I was in for one, and I mistakenly told one of the guys it was my when one of the guys. Well, I didn't really tell him. He was friends with me on Facebook, and he found out it was my birthday. And so they dragged me to a strip club. I ended up on stage with 5 strippers, but that's not the point. But I honestly lost my train of thought right there.
okay, so we know what to do to make him lose his train of thought. Mention 5 strippers.
Yes.
I'll be in my bunk. Medusa, take me out to a strip club on my birthday.
Man, I've never gone to a strip club. Okay.
Okay, hold on.
The money.
Yeah, Medusa, I told you coming up on this spring break, and maybe a little bit later, I might have to move it to summer break, but I will be up in your neck of the woods, and and fuck it, you and Andrew, you are coming with me to a strip club.
I don't know if we have any good ones around here.
I promise you, I will find one.
All right.
And also, Mad Cat, if I think you said that you lived I think you said where you lived somewhere earlier. I'm probably gonna be moving out to your neck of the woods fairly soon, so we'll fucking go to a strip club. Fuck it.
I'm in Arizona, but no, I lost my train of thought. Damn you! Be careful, Medusa, be careful going to a strip club because the strippers often find women to be a threat to them. So make sure that when you go there, the first thing you do, no, they actually do, because if a man is talking to a woman at a strip club, the last thing he really will want to do is interact with a stripper.
Yep.
They want men by themselves. So the first thing you do when you go to a strip club is you find the first woman, I don't care who she is, you find the first woman and say, give me a lap dance. So all the strippers know.
What makes you think I don't know some of the strippers around here? Okay. Just because I've never been to one.
Yeah, also, you want to do that, and also And also, I'll say I'm buying you an. Also, you need to do a fucking couples lap dance at some point because it's basically just the dude. Just I may or may not be speaking from experience, but it's basically just a dude just sitting there watching some girl on girl action going on in front of him.
Oh, well.
Okay. Hold on. Time out. Getting to that point. The thing with it is, if you go in there and you basically let them know that you're there to enjoy yourself and you're going to pay, they'll leave. They won't leave you alone, but they'll treat you like any other customer.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. But at the same time, they will put you up front and center to get you messed with and to play with you. And you, because you are a woman, they will do things to you they won't let the guys do.
Oh yeah.
But part of that is so they can make more money because of girl on girl.
Right. I mean, my friend, she went there and one of the chicks just shook her titties in her face, touching her face, and she wasn't giving her any money, but everybody else was.
No. That's one of the reasons why whenever I go to the strip club, it's like when there's the chick up, when there's the chicks up on the stages and shit. It's like whichever stripper's just is just getting off stage or whatever, or one of the ones who just hangs out at the bars. It's I'll just call her over here. I'll just hand her a stack of. I'll just hand her $10 in ones and just say, throw them on that girl there, because they will let them do whatever.
Okay.
This has quickly turned into strip club etiquette stream.
There you go.
Well, the move I make is, I don't get a stripper right away. I play the field a little bit. I see what I want. And as soon as she's on stage, right as she's done and collecting her money, I'll slip her a 20. And I'll fold it up so it's not stretched out. Slip her a 20 to let her know I want her to come over to me.
Oh, that's a good idea. See, what I do is because there's a strip club near me where it's one stage and then one stage are right next to each other with a set of stairs. It's whenever I find two strippers who are really attractive and stuff, it's I'll just stand there in between the stage holding out $5 in ones at each of them. So,
well, see,
that's also how you get two strippers to start basically dry humping you at once. But
I must be the irregularity, because all I do is I look at them, get them eye contact, and I just say, just kind of come over here and give them the finger,
except also another bit of strip club advice is keep a bottle of liquor in a cooler in the trunk of your car, the bed of your truck or whatever, because drinks are fucking expensive there.
All right.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
We should go ahead and start wrapping this show up or get into the top of the hour.
Oh, shit. 2
hours.
So let's go ahead and give our final thoughts on everything. Well, other than strip clubs are fun, but everything else is good. Jim, would you like to go first?
Oh, shit. Let's start off with toxic masculinity is a load of crap. The New Zealand shooter he played the media better than Johnny did his fiddle against the devil, and he's still evil.
I got that reference.
And Medusa has a really nice ass.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Go check out the picture I posted on Twitter because thanks to Mr. Did you look at it yet, sir?
I've been watching I've been here in the Hangout, and fuck, I don't even get a personal message. I don't even get a personal picture.
I gave it. I posted it on Twitter. What do you mean? That is personal.
I know. I'm logging on to my Twitter right now. Calm your very giant tits.
I mean, I can send you something else if you want to donate a little more, but I'm just
before we get to the end
Wait until about midnight tonight, and when I get paid.
Okay.
Nicely. I'm looking at Twitter right now. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate it. See, there's more where that came from. There's more booty.
I'm not paying to see your ass. Thank you.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not paying to. It's not paying
like
to see it.
She's like a high class stripper. You pay money and you just happen to see it also.
Yeah, see, like, people don't ask for this. I just present it because they donate to me. If you want me to, I've made cookies for someone before. I'm making a painting pretty soon for someone. Well, I mean, I make paintings all the time, but this one's gonna be like
next time
a boob print.
Next time I donate, can you make me a banner photo for my channel? Because I'm tired of using just the first Google image I found that wasn't copyrighted.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I've done avatars and banners for people all the time, so yeah, no problem.
Groovy.
No, if I was gonna donate, I'd ask for dinner.
Dinner.
Okay, so
come over.
We're giving our final thoughts because we need to close this out.
Oh yeah.
Jim, any more final thoughts other than you like boobs?
No, I like ass. Thank you.
Yeah, he said he likes my butt.
You ain't a real man if you don't eat the ass. What?
I've never eaten ass personally, but I'm not a man.
I didn't say I was going to eat ass. I just said my preference is the ass. It's the ass and legs. Always has been.
I've always liked boobs more.
I've always liked boobs more.
I go with whichever the girl has the better of.
Well, yeah. If she doesn't
if she has big tits and a no ass, or she has a nice ass and no tits.
Yeah. But then if you have the best of both worlds.
The only time I like a girl's ass is if she's willing to let me stick it in her ass.
Also, yes.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah.
I mean, if she's like, no, I don't like it in my ass. I won't look at her ass then. If it's not on play, I don't touch it.
I need more of that in my life.
No, because that was actually one of my ex's biggest complaints about me was I would always go around and grab her ass because that was my favorite thing to grab.
She complained about it?
Yep.
That is a
bitch.
No, that's illegal. Sorry. If you're trying to date me, I'm allowed to grab any part of your body.
Sweetheart, if I was dating you, you'd have every part of my body at your beck and call. The problem with it is getting to that point, which I'm kind of really hard to get to.
Wait, do you mean like geographically?
I'm extremely choosy, and I generally okay. Let me put it to you this way: I know girls on the LA Kings Ice crew who I would turn down.
I don't know what that is.
Model level, hot.
Who cares if they're hot? It has nothing to do with their personality.
Exactly. But still, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. Just because a woman's hot doesn't mean she's worth a damn. In fact, most of the women who are hot are generally not worth a damn.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the women who are hot are really bad at sex.
Yeah. I need to get a belt. I need to get a
can train them
like Sinatra, so I can just dig it on that.
Yeah,
the super hot women I've managed to go home with for God knows what reason.
They went ugly early, dude.
Of course. Hey, ugly men make beautiful babies. So yeah, they just laid there like a dead fish. So
No, Jim, you are correct. You can train them, but you can't train someone who doesn't want to be trained. Because all these women's like, oh yeah, I'm so good at sex. I suck his dick, and then I get some and it's like you're doing nothing. You suck my dick for 2 seconds and then get on your back and want me to do all of the damn work.
Exactly.
Well, that's when you pick them up, throw them on their face, and you just smack their ass.
That's when
Pile
you,
drive that shit.
see, Jim, that's when you accidentally changed lanes and put it in her pooper.
Thank you. I knew you were going that
See,
route.
what I thought you were going to say is what you need to do is flip her over, stick it in her, and have her head smash up against the wall.
I'm
Also,
not that much
That's
of an asshole.
included. That's normal.
Also, yes.
I mean, if she's really that annoying, you can always just fucking stuff her panties in her mouth. Or your foot. Really, it doesn't matter.
See, hold on. I'm going to make a joke about this once it gets to my turn, but Jim, carry on.
No. I'm done, man. Because like they said, we've got to wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like 10 minutes.
Okay,
Well, I meant my cock, but go ahead.
So see what I do is I always just hang a ball gag over my rearview mirror when I keep a ball gag in my center console in my truck. So when
I don't have a single one. They're on my Amazon wish list. Send me balls.
Hey, the link is in the description. Send Medusa ball gags. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hang a ball gag over my fucking rearview mirror. While I'm waiting for the bitch to get out of the bathroom and come to my truck because bitches always take forever in the fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, so because I know one of these days there's gonna be a chick who gets into my fucking truck who just sees the ball gag hanging from the rear mirror, just be like, "Oh, you have a ball gag too," and I'm gonna put a baby in her.
See, that would be me if I had one.
Send Medusa ball gags. The link is in the description. Hold on, let me drop it in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
I'll get a ball gag, but it kind of requires me to be physically there.
Oh, okay. I have a.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Medusa. I don't send sex toys to anybody I'm not fucking.
I mean,
we can rectify that.
That's we can make it happen. That just costs a little extra.
Wow, I can't.
We'll talk after.
Oh, okay. Oh, so are we gonna start shilling?
Well, we still have to give our final say. Which at
go
this
ahead.
point, no one's
I
talking
don't
about
have
toxic
shit to say. I just
masculinity.
I'll talk about toxic masculinity by Crumb Sweaty Balls. Okay, so one, toxic masculinity is bullshit. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, only the lack of masculinity. Also, the reason why there's been such a radicalization of men is because of the absolute fucking condonement of hatred against men. And once everyone is willing to have a fucking honest conversation about New Zealand, I will be doing a stream about that because I don't give a fuck if my channel gets taken down.
I applaud you, sir.
I don't give a good goddamn. I've said way worse shit. There's a guy who made a all-out video on why women should be considered legally property. So, actually, it's why they shouldn't be allowed to vote. But also, I think that women should be legally considered property. But in any whore,
Any whore.
God damn, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, toxic masculinity is bullshit. Never fucking apologize. Repeal the 19th Amendment. What else are we talking about?
Get Medusa a ball gag.
Yes, get Medusa a ball gag. I dropped the link in the chat. And also whenever you're at the strip club, do not do what I did my first time at the strip club where I just went with the first chick who latched on to me at the with the first whore who latched on to me at the bar while I was trying to get a drink, because those are the ones who are too fucking ugly to be up on stage and they will rob you fucking blind.
Oh no.
I don't want to talk about it.
I had one of those strippers that I thought her tits looked like deflated tires. I mean, they just were small, but they hang down and they were flat. And whenever she jiggles, they're like,
please. I just
Oh, like the fucking egg nailed to a tree.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So
Anyway,
let me,
final thoughts. You guys carry on.
my final thought is, as everyone says, toxic masculinity is bullshit. It's just a way to destroy men. That's all it is. It's been so long since we've really had a war, and I don't consider Afghanistan and Iraq wars not unlike World War II and even Vietnam. I'm not saying I want to go to war. I don't want men to be dead. But during those times, we really loved men. But as we get further and further away from that, we're devaluing men. We're devaluing what they do.
Exactly.
And part of it is women want to be treated equally. Great. I want to treat women equally. But treating women equally doesn't mean that I have to be detrimental to men. I will give you the same respect I give a man. But that means I will give you the same respect I give a man. I will not put you on a pedestal so you can feel better about yourself. That's not my responsibility. But toxic masculinity is a way to shut down the conversation, to tell men to shut up, and that they don't deserve to have a voice, despite, as Jim said, we wouldn't have the internet. We wouldn't have iPhones. We wouldn't have the wheel. If it was left up to women, we'd
still be living in grass huts.
We'd be
Thank
still
you.
in
Yes.
I mean, and I'll point to, there was a Dutch Survivor show where they put men and women on an island.
I was
Women
gonna
did
say that.
nothing, men did something. And when they tried to swap the men and women around a little bit because the women weren't doing anything, men became the slaves on the female island. And the women on the male island lived in a lap of luxury. Now, I'm not going to say that they're not good women out there. I see Naked and Afraid, and there are some kick-ass women on there because they don't say, oh, I'm a woman, you should do for me. They say, I'm a woman, I'm as good as a man. We're going to make this work, and we're going to do it together. They seem to understand more about cooperation than any woman out there, except Medusa. That's my rant.
Oh yeah, all I'm saying is every single Survivor show, when they have men versus women, it's like the men. The end of the first day, they've got a full village set up. They have an aggregation system. They've got everything all set up. Women are still bitching at each other about who looks the worst. So they got to send 5 of the men over to the women's island in order so they don't die. God, women make me sick.
Oh, thank you.
I will. Before we give Medusa time for her final thoughts, I will sit there and say I love women. I hate women who are worthless.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was a gross one. Sorry.
Hands on keyboards, fellas. Don't be imagining Medusa making that noise around your dick. Hands on keyboards.
See, no, I don't make that gross noise. That would be a much sexier noise, okay? But
hands on keyboards.
I mean, I just love men so much, and masculinity. It's hard for me to imagine someone not liking it. I don't know. It's just literally just a way to spread an agenda that makes no sense and has no purpose other than female superiority. I don't fucking know what it is, or in the name of progressiveness or social justice. I don't really know, but
I think you actually nailed it a second ago. It is female superiority.
Well, yeah. I mean, they act so entitled, they deserve everything, yet you deserve nothing because you're a man or white or both, or cisgender, straight or whatever, and and then they even have their own intersectionality fucking bullshit where they're like, oh, you're a white woman, so you have no say. And it's like you're literally just trying to come up with shit that makes no sense. It's like saying, it's literally the same exact thing as saying, oh, well, you're a woman, you aren't smart enough to speak up in the company, Like you're literally just switching that around.
Am I the only one in this group that wasn't drinking tonight?
I'm not very tipsy, honestly.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, am I the only one that wasn't drinking any alcohol tonight?
I don't know.
I guess so. You were drinking wine, I guess. I'm pretty sure Mr. Man was drinking something.
I've been drinking the cheap vodka that tastes like paint thinner, which is why I've been blatantly drinking Chaser on stream because this vodka tastes like shit.
Out of your tap.
Does it come out of my tap? I wish. I truly wish that my tap gave vodka. I'd save so much money at the liquor store. Beer.
The great joke about toxic masculinity is that feminists claim they want all men to be beta cucks, but deep down, they want the strong, dominant alpha male.
Well,
there actually been articles about how feminists want the alpha males, that they're attracted to them, and how that's the problem with patriarchy.
I have a hypothesis on that, Mad Cat.
Oh my God, he used the word correctly.
Yes, I know. I do
not
that
correctly. People always use the word. I have a theory about that. And it's like, no, you don't. You have a hypothesis. Sorry. Go on.
Well,
I'll be back in 2 minutes. I gotta check on my dog real quick.
My hypothesis is they're doing this. They're doing all these things. They're trying to destroy masculinity, so that they don't have to work so hard to find the men who are the alpha males. They don't have to work so hard to find the men who get their panties dripping fucking wet.
Sorry, I was reading the chat.
I agree with you on that one because look at sex doll coming out, sex robots. And who has the biggest response of all is the feminist saying how misogynistic this is. But really what it comes down to, if I have the option of sleeping with a legitimate woman, a prostitute, and a sex doll, I'm probably going to choose the prostitute or the sex doll because the other woman is just too high maintenance. She loses her power. So that's why feminists in general dislike prostitution and are now against sex dolls. Because whatever currency they have with sex, they're going to lose.
Well, that's all they have. That's the only currency they have is sex, which is why when I occasionally stream and I mention anything as far as dating, I tell men, make sure you have some form of standard that it goes beyond what she looks like. It's like I said to Medusa, she's got to be able to carry some form of conversation, has to be honest, has to be loyal, has to be trustworthy, which would play into the honesty. You have to have a certain level to sit there and say, okay, you're worth something other than just having a vagina.
Mm-hmm.
Or a really nice ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've tried dating dumb girls before, and yeah, the sex was great, but then it's like, what am I supposed to do for the other 23 hours of the day? Because she could not keep up with me worth shit. She thought everything I had to say was basically useless, and it's like, I can't be with this girl. Or if I have to sit there and explain everything.
All right, I'm gonna have to say we gotta start shilling because I want to get the fuck out of here. It's been like 2.5 hours almost.
Hey, that's what happens when you invite me on stream. I just bring the fun.
I'm enjoying the conversation, but I do got shit to do, and I'm horny, and I want to go do some shit. Okay.
Medusa is the dick, guys. We need to go.
Yes,
I need the dick.
Everyone send Medusa dick pics, god damn it. Her Twitter's in the description, and I've dropped it in the chat a couple times.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Send Medusa your dick.
Yes.
Not just so Mad Cat can laugh at it. What?
So why don't you start shilling whatever you got, Mr. Man?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay, so refollow me on my new Twitter because I got fucking banned again for the 5th time at not Mr. M1, all one word. Go because I'm definitely not Mr. Misanthropic, but Jesus. So I forgot what I was about to say. Oh yeah, subscribe to my channel. I've now started doing a couple shows. The Sunday Fun Day stream is now weekly, and the Tuesday Booze Day is twice a month.
Oh shit.
What else was I about to say? Oh yeah, watch my video on why women shouldn't be allowed to vote, and which, yes, that's true, women should not be allowed to vote, and I believe that's it. Oh yeah, I also have a Discord that I need to link on my channel because I've officially sold out all of my integrity and dignity. So
nice.
all that shit, etc. Yeah. Just
there you go.
Sub to my channel and you'll find all of it, and then follow me on Twitter at goddamn, I'm so used to saying
not
my
Mr.
fucking,
5 or some shit.
Yeah, at not Mr. M1. Because
yeah,
someone else has already taken my fucking username.
Really? That's gay.
So is dignity
Report them.
Is dignity the act of digging your own grave?
Yes. Also, yes. I dig my own grave every time I show up on camera.
Jim, what do you got to show?
Yeah.
The only thing I have to show is someone buy Medusa a ball gag so we can shut her up.
There you go. I'll wear it next
Yes.
time and let the men talk.
Yeah, but no, I don't stream very often. It's occasional. Occasionally, I jump on Twitter and piss people off. If you want to find me, all you got to do is search for Jim Kilbarn. If not, I don't care.
There you go. Oh.
All right, time for me to show. All right, so you'll find everything in the description box down below. I'm still on Patreon because I'm not popular enough to be hated. Every little bit helps. I appreciate Ohio Dan and Wienerlicious, or Reading Ren, for donating to me. But, you know, I am trying to save up for insurance. I'm still working hard. I'm trying to do my own things. But I can use a little extra help. Right now, the money I get goes to odds and ends, but I was giving plasma the other day, and my thought while I was there is, I wish I was working, because that's like the only socialization that I do outside of doing these videos. So I want to get better, you know, and I don't know if I can get better, but I want to see a doctor to actually help me with my disability. So anything you can give right now, it goes day to day, but I am trying to eventually get health insurance. If you don't want to do Patreon because they are Satan's testicles, consider donating to my PayPal. The link's also down below. If you don't want to do PayPal because they're Satan's taint, then consider buying my book down below, How to Destroy a Woman Now, which was a book made in response to a book that Amazon allowed called How to Destroy a Man Now, with the result of the Me Too movement. We don't know if this book is like legitimate or someone was trying to make a joke of the Me Too movement, but it discusses some very immoral things in there, and even kind of illegal things about reporting false reports and trying to get people fired from their job. So I made a book called How to Destroy a Woman Now that offers immoral advice, not illegal, but things you shouldn't do. And the last chapter of my book says, don't do the things in this book. I'm hoping it gets popular enough that feminists will get angry. I actually got one feminist angry on Twitter, and one feminist left me a 1-star review reading only the preview of the book, which doesn't say anywhere anything in this book, because that's in the last chapter. But she's like, oh, yeah, he's a neckbeard, and I'm sure he's popular on Reddit and whatever.
Which is funny because Reddit is left-wing.
Woohoo! I got a 1-star review. But anyways, buy the book. It's $2.99. I get a commission every time a book is sold. which I appreciate people who are buying the book. We make it popular. The feminists hate it. They pressure Amazon to take it down, and then we can go after Amazon to take the other book down because neither book should be on Amazon. That's just my personal opinion on that, but you know, it is also a way to help me out. And Modern Medusa is on the cover.
Yeah. my delicious face. So yeah, you
Chill,
guys know you guys know where to find me.
That deliciousness.
You know what I do. I offer the booty. I offer basically everything, you know, GIFs, photo shoots, videos, stuff like that. But yeah, also everything that's sent to me from my Amazon wishlist, I take pictures and send them to you. So yeah, there's all that good stuff. Besides that, I've got my GoFundMe going on, which was actually the whole reason I started posting those butt pictures over and over. It was because people actually started donating to it. I didn't expect anybody to donate to it. So yeah, if you want to help me go to VidCon, either this year or next year, depending on how much it costs and how much I raise. But
do you have the link for that so I can drop it in the chat?
It's just GoFundMe/MedusaCon. Sorry, my fiance overcooked his pizza. Sad face. But
we need to have a MedusaCon.
Yes, we do. But okay, so besides that, oh yeah, so Andrew wants to go to this marathon in Washington D.C. this October, which is it's called like Athletes versus Epilepsy, and it's like the 10th Marine Corps anniversary or something like that. So he wants to go and do the marathon and raise, you know, awareness for epilepsy. So if I might start a separate GoFundMe for that, but if anybody is interested in either seeing us there or supporting us going there, you know my paypal.me/MedusasGorgon. So until I decide if I'm gonna do a GoFundMe for that, we will do that. And if you didn't know, I got my new van, so now I can travel in that van and sleep in it and do whatever I want. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Do whatever I want is code for suck dick of people who donate to paypal.me/MedusasGorgons.
Pretty much, yes.
So yeah.
Goddamn.
So, yes, support Modern Medusa and her naked epilepsy run.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I'll go naked if they allow it. I mean, shit.
We'll certainly raise awareness. I'll say that much.
Hey, are you aware of my titties? Okay, but tune in. I believe we're gonna do another show next week. So next Thursday, we will see you on the Macho Show. And thank you, Jim and Mr. Misanthropic, for joining us. I appreciate you. All right. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next week. Bye.